Hey everybody. It is Wednesday morning and it is first thing in the morning, at least by fish standards. I usually come down here about 10 o'clock and turn the lights on for everybody. So it is about 5 of 10, but as far as this crayfish is concerned, it is sunrise because I just turned the lights on, and it's not unusual for me to find this crayfish up on the top of a piece of wood or perhaps on top of one of the rocks that sticks higher up in this tank. He always seems to go for high ground overnight, or she, I should say. I'm pretty sure this is a female. The little red bumps you may or may not be able to see on the top of the carapace just behind the eyes, they were the little bumps that in a recent video I was looking at it and I was wondering what they were because they looked like little white bumps. And now they're turning red. So I'm still not sure what that is or where it comes from. I have had people suggest that it was calcium deposits and that perhaps she was getting ready to molt pretty soon. I suppose that is a possibility, although she's shown no signs of molting. So I'm not really sure what that is. I suppose it could be calcium deposits, although I have very low levels of calcium in my water. And I don't feed the crayfish anything particularly calcium rich. The possibility that it ate the carapace from the other crayfish that I used to have in here. I used to have a larger crayfish that did slough. And even though I got as much of the old carapace out of the tank as I could, there was still some carapace that was left over. And this one may have eaten that, which is not uncommon. They often will eat their own carapace after they've shed, and their exoskeleton hardens. It takes a few days for their new shell to harden up. But once it does, they will usually devour their own exoskeleton that they just sloughed, and they basically recapture all of that calcium. So I suppose it's possible that this one ate the carapace from the other one, and the boost of calcium has caused a little bit of some calcium deposits on the exoskeleton there. Not really sure what to make of that. I'm really looking forward to when she sloughs. I want to see how much bigger she gets between one exoskeleton and the next. I've seen it happen before, and I was shocked at how big the crayfish was. It came out of the shell, basically the same size as the shell, but then it seemed to just swell up like a sponge, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and within 3 days, when the shell had hardened on the new one, it was suddenly about twice the size of the crayfish when it started the process. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this one slough, just so we can really get a good look at how much bigger it will become when its new exoskeleton hardens up. So make sure you're subscribed, that way you won't miss any of that. I have tried to get some footage of this crayfish, for lack of a better word, I'll say hunting. If we look over here, we can see how these fish will just sort of hang out in small groups down near the bottom. Well, as you can imagine, if they were doing this right in front of where that crayfish is standing, that's a pretty tempting target. So I have seen on several occasions the crayfish will snatch at them and grab at them in an attempt to get a hold of one of them. And there she goes down into her little cave over there. If you can see her tail disappearing down into it, that is her little hideaway. If you look over here, you can actually see her moving around in there. She's got a little access port right here. Oh, she's going to come back out, I guess. So one of these days I will really try to get her on film, I like to say, attacking one of these fish or catching one of these fish. It's funny watching her run after them because she'll put her claws up in the air and do her best to chase them. And as you can imagine, she's not nearly fast enough to, on foot chase one of these fish down, but she tries. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, make sure you're subscribed. That way you won't miss any of that stuff I got coming up. It is... Oh, here she made an appearance back in the front again. Boy, she's really active this morning. I guess maybe when the lights come on, she's got to go inspect her tank and make sure anything, any food material or anything didn't get in here overnight. So, at any rate, if you're subscribed, you won't miss any of the stuff I've got coming up on this or any of my other tanks. We are getting into warmer weather here, so hopefully pretty soon we'll be starting to stock this tank up again. Don't forget, this is my native tank. Thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you real soon on the next one.